Good morning. Day 2 here in Vietnam, and I don't know about you guys, but when I eat a lot of food right before I go to bed, I wake up with just this crazy hunger. And I'm really curious what the locals here eat for breakfast, so let's go find out. Let's go on a Saigon breakfast tour.
The first place I'm going to serve is a really popular Vietnamese breakfast with a strong Western influence. We're gonna go get some beef steak. It seems like most cultures around the world have their own version of steak and eggs, and here in Vietnam, the bonea is theirs. This is definitely not something I would have pictured in my mind when thinking about a very popular Vietnamese breakfast, but this was highly recommended by all my friends here, and there are different ways that this could be prepared. Sometimes you get a whole steak, sometimes the steak is chopped up, and in my case, it looks like thin slices of beef stir-fried with a couple of hot dogs, 2 sunny-side-up eggs, some cabbage, tomatoes, and corn with mayo, all served on top of a sizzling hot plate. I mean, this thing actually burned me when it first came to my table. And you're supposed to eat all this with some baguette. I'm starving, so I'm just gonna dig right in. And I just also found out that this is pate. Now, of course, this is a very Western influenced breakfast, and that's because of the French occupation. And the baguette, take some pate, smear that on, and I'm just gonna dip this part of the baguette with the pate into my runny eggs. Good morning, sunshine. Wow. I'm not usually a fan of pate. I'm a fan of this. That meat is so incredibly smooth and smoky. And then when you dip that into the creaminess of the egg yolk, that's the smoothest thing. It just feels like a meaty, eggy blanket, just slowly blanketing your tongue. Ooh, eggy, meaty blanket. Someone should invent that. And as smooth as all that is, you get that beautiful crunch from the baguette. So if you love freshly baked bread, and you love creamy eggs and delicious smoky meat, and who doesn't, that beef. I'm gonna fall in love with this. After having pho and a couple other beef dishes, I came to the conclusion that this country, they really know their beef. I mean, they're able to extract the best flavors out of their cows. This is ridiculous. The meat itself, it's not the most tender thing, it's not. Wow. The more you chew, the more delicious and interesting it gets. And at the end, when the beef finally dissipates in your mouth, you're just begging for another bite. It's kind of like the beef version of the Shawshank Redemption. The best part's at the end. I am really glad they added some raw veggies to this plate because it does give your taste buds a much needed small little break from all the meat and eggs. But a little crispy bite of the veggies is like hitting that much needed reset button that makes each bite taste like your first. Oh. I totally neglected something. 2 big sausages sitting on my plate. I just kind of completely ignored. That's rude of me. It's really because the beef is so good. So good. What did I just eat? I was kind of thinking it would taste like a hot dog. Also, I thought that this would be incredibly salty and heavy. But actually, not at all. It's like a much lighter, cleaner, springier hot dog. I don't know if you guys can see how bouncy it is. And this sauce, I'm using all 4 of this baguette because sauce is so tomatoey and fragrant. Got a nice thick beefy flavor. I'm not wasting a single drop of this sauce. They also have hot sauce. I think it's sriracha actually. Baguette number 2. Dip it in the sriracha, grab some beef. I'm just gonna be really hands-on with this meal from now on. Grab some eggs. You know this is gonna be good. Oh, here's what I'm gonna do. This is kind of like a hot dog bun, right? I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this entire sausage and put it in. Maybe a little corn. Hey, it's there. Some eggs. Don't forget to invite the pate to the party. Some beef. It's a little crowded, but there's always room for beef. And we're just gonna top that off with a little sriracha. Also, they gave me a little plate of fries. Dare we? I think we dare. You probably either are disgusted by me right now, or you think I'm a mad food genius. I'll hinge my jaw and take a bite that includes every single element. It's not gonna be easy. Cheers, guys. All I gotta say to you is that this is freaking insane. This is sort of a balanced breakfast, right? Because you got the meat and egg, that's your protein. I mean, there's some veggies in here. Then you got potato, which is like a vital part of nutrition. So yeah, I think this is a fairly healthy breakfast. Next, when you're taking a bite of this, you get that beautiful crunchy layer of the baguette. And once you penetrate that, what you taste is the delicious, slightly crunchy fries, the aromatic beef and the sausage, then the delicate creaminess of the egg, and finally, little kernels of corn just bursting in your mouth as you chew. I honestly think someone should just make this in Vietnam or anywhere in the world and sell it as is. But if you do that and you got the idea here, then you gotta call this the Chan sandwich, okay? Or the Chanwich. And if what I just created disgusts you, then sorry, not sorry, because yeah, flavor don't apologize. Promise you guys, if you come here and do this, you take a bite, you will look at this like Ross looks at Rachel. All right, all I have is the sauce and 1 more baguette left. This is gonna be fun. And this is an important skill because too much gravy, you're gonna want more bread. Too much bread, you're gonna miss the gravy. It's all about a delicate balance. We're not done, because one breakfast, who am I? Somebody was not very hungry? Let's keep going. I'm not typically a big coffee drinker. I never drank coffee back in the States, but in Vietnam, this is a big thing, so I want to try it out. I'm at this place called Legend Coffee. It's supposed to be one of the best coffee places in Saigon. All right, this has been a fun and yummy coffee break. Let's continue our eating. After a really satisfying meal of steak and eggs, I'm here at District 1 to try out another breakfast favorite, the banh. And here at Hồng Hoa, they're one of the best at making this sandwich. And I'm gonna go for a couple different ones. This is the more traditional one, the breaded meatloaf. And I'm also gonna go for their second most popular, the breaded roast pork. And this place is just a small storefront in an unassuming alley, and supposedly they crank out some of the best banh in Saigon. And it may look simple, but this thing is loaded. Look at this. On the top, whole cucumbers, soy sauce on one side of the baguette, some mayonnaise, carrots, jalapenos, cilantro, and then check this out, guys. This is roast pork. This is pork pate, and it's just a variety of cold cuts. This is a secret pork chamber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 different types of pork in here. There we go. Say hello to the sandwich love of my life. Wow. Excuse me, I'm gonna need a few more bites here. This is all sorts of beautiful here. I know it's pork, but each of these slices of meat, I feel like plays an important role in this sandwich. The pate, deliciously fatty and smooth. The roast pork brings a nice chewy and smoky element. I can taste the gelatinous pork skin, and that's just the meat side. The veggies also contribute so much to what is the magic of the sandwich. That refreshing crunch of the cucumber, the sweet pickled carrots, the wonderful aroma of the cilantro, and just when it's getting a slight fatty, a bit too sweet, that's when the jalapeno hits you, bringing a much needed heat. And when you're crunching through it, I feel like my taste buds is just going on a multi-layered journey. If you guys don't believe that pork heaven actually exists, you need to take a bite of this sandwich because it will take you there. Wow, that first sandwich went down real smooth. This is my second one, the barbecue pork. Say hello to my delicious little friend. Oh! Come here. I did not expect this. I mean, it said barbecue pork. I really didn't know what I was getting. Look at that. Delicious, fatty pork just everywhere on the sandwich. If this doesn't whet your appetite, just looking at it, I don't think we can be friends. I really don't. I'm gonna take a piece of pork and just try that on its own. That's some of the most delicate, fatty, wow. This is for sure the best roast pork sandwich I've ever had. I mean, not even close. If banh tasted this good in the US, I get this every single day. This sandwich, it needs the heat from the jalapeno. Oh, that really offsets the fatty pork a lot. Also, guys, I just want to put this into perspective. Less than $1. Now I feel like I'm getting completely hoodwinked every single time I order a 6-inch Subway sandwich. Only in Vietnam, right? Only here, we find something so incredibly magical for the price of a can of Coke. All my hunger, everything that was taken away by the beautiful steak and eggs, all came back because of this. But there is more delicious breakfast to be had, so with a heavy heart and slightly fuller stomach, I'm gonna wrap this up and let's keep this breakfast tour going. My next breakfast takes me to the Phong Yong district, and I'm here for something really traditional and really unique. I'm here for rice, but it's not what you think, because the rice they serve here, well, It's broken. This dish is called gamdam. From what I learned, broken rice used to be something that's really cheap. It's more for the poor people, but now has gained a lot of popularity. It just literally looks like whole grain of rice just chopped up. And you see little bits and pieces of it, but just because of that, the texture and flavor is supposed to be really different. And what they do is they take the rice and they put a whole bunch of toppings on here, from veggies to eggs to dried to pork skin, as well as this, like a massive piece of pork chop. And that's what she's making right there. I'm so excited about this broken rice. Oh, thank you so much. Here it is, everybody. First thing that jumps out at me is this egg. I mean, this is a beautifully fried egg. We're gonna open this up and it's gonna be pretty. Something else I was really looking forward to about this dish, besides eating broken up rice, which is a whole new experience for me, is the pork chop. I mean, do you see that lady grilling up those monster pork chops? If that doesn't make you want this, I don't know what else to do. All right, so the rice grains, they're a little sticky, I guess, and they look like a grain of rice that's cut into halves or maybe thirds. And I just wanna try some of this on its own. All right, the rice grains is not sticky. The texture is actually a lot different than regular rice. It has more of a rice flavor, if that makes sense. And also, it tastes a lot starchier than regular rice grains. Right here are slices of pork, and this is the pork skin. This is really interesting. Some sort of steamed egg. It's almost like a steamed egg omelet with what looks like rice noodles and some sort of, I'm guessing there's pork inside of this as well. That actually looks really good. I gotta show you this massive pork chop without, I don't know, somehow pick this up without disturbing the harmony that is this plate. Just like pork chop Jenga right here. Look at that. I just want to take a bite of this right now. And I'm gonna take a bite of this fatty part right here. Oh my God, the emotions. Wow. Wow. Probably the best pork chop ever bit into in my life. And I love Vietnamese pork chop. I get it a lot at food places, at Vietnamese restaurants. Nothing like this. Nothing prepared me for what this is. Trust me, guys. Oh, that auntie ain't kidding around. Young? Yeah? Yeah. It's so good. There's so much flavor just infused into every single bite of this. All right, I gotta get back to my broken rice. But this, holy cow. Holy cow. I need another one of these. For sure. Maybe two more. Oh. Yeah, I'm just basically telling everybody how much I love this. And I'm gonna show you guys this. Check out this yolk. You ready? This looks like the sunrise I saw yesterday morning. Yeah, that's not Photoshop, that actually is the sun. Doesn't that look like this egg right here? And I'm just gonna take some fish sauce with little chilies inside. All right. And I'm supposed to mix all the ingredients together. And I'm gonna blend some of that delicious egg yolk into everything. I do wanna try this little meatloaf egg omelet thingamajiggy. That's smooth, man. This thing's got a huge porky flavor. It falls apart in your mouth too. So take a bite, some of the eggs, some of this meatloaf thingy, and just a bunch of the broken rice. That was a serious bite of food. It's like every single texture you can ever imagine, all sitting here on one plate. Crunchy veggies, melty, smooth egg yolk. I'm just gonna, you know, chase it with some pork. Also, what's really interesting is that with all the ingredients mixed together, and I'm taking a bite of the rice and everything else on this plate, doesn't really taste like rice to me. Well, the rice in a traditional sense. I mean, my brain is registering that I'm eating some sort of starch, but it wouldn't jump out at me that this is rice. Not saying it's bad. No, it's actually really, really good. It tastes like a really delicious, soft, fluffy starch. And like I thought it would, the flavors infuse so much better because the grains are tinier. And they have these little chilies over here that look really spicy. I kind of underestimated how spicy it was going to be. Oh, that thing is a green fireball. I like it though. And guys, breakfast is not over. This is just the grilled pork chop part of the breakfast. So we got more coming up. We got more. But right now, I'm just going to spend some time with this lovely thing here. I'm kind of halfway slipping into a food coma right now because of the pork chop, but I got to try this because you can't have breakfast without some congee. And this isn't just any congee. This is duck congee. Look at this. Thank you. Cauldron. You know what? If it tastes good, I might actually do that. There's a cauldron of congee. And this is just massive chunks of duck blood. I've never seen anything like this before. So besides the massive cauldron of duck congee, they got this. Whole ducks hanging here. Kind of reminds me of the duck place I went to in Taiwan because the duck meat, it doesn't look all that marinated. So we're gonna get some congee, we're gonna get some chopped duck, and we're gonna continue with breakfast. So far in front of me, a little sauce. Little salad. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Wow. And wow. That's a lot of duck. And this thing, I saw a bunch of duck blood. I don't see it here. I am gonna ask for some duck blood. And the difference between this congee and what I typically get in China is that, oh, thank you. Oh, here's my duck blood. Anyway, the congee in China, at least in the north, we typically don't eat salty congee in the north. We typically eat congee that really has no flavor, like a neutral flavor, or it's a bit sweet. And also in China, you can see like every grain of rice in the congee. We don't really like mush our rice up. And here it looks like this is more like broken rice congee, at least from how it looks. Supposed to take the duck blood. Wow, this is really not as delicate as like pork blood, because pork blood is basically really soft gelatin, and this is actually, look at this. Duck blood, it's got some bounce. Ooh, that thing just squirted me. Duck blood fought back. Because you see a lot of crevices here, and you see how the texture, this is more like a frozen tofu than a blood to me. I'm gonna put this in my congee. First thing I'm gonna do is just try the congee on its own. Ooh, this honestly tastes more like a duck soup to me. The rice, very, very, very fine. It's almost creamy like an oatmeal. The soup's got a ton of duck flavor. It's a little peppery. Yeah, that's delicious. Let me try this duck blood. Look at it. Look at it. How hard I need to kind of push to cut a piece of this duck blood in half. I like this a lot better than pig blood. You got a nice bouncy, chewy texture. And what's kind of cool about this blood is that because there's so much crevices in there, it kind of soaks up the soup. That's not bad. This I'm excited about. You're supposed to eat the duck with a little bit of salad, dip into the sauce here with a bunch of chili in here. This tastes almost exactly like the duck I had in Taiwan. Really not too much flavor on this thing. I'm just gonna dip a little bit and just toss it in my congee and see what happens. Whoa, that actually tastes really good. The sauce adds sort of a citrusy dimension to it, but you put it into the duck congee soup and you eat that all together. I think it really tastes much better like this. What you're getting is a tender bite of duck meat, a little spice, a little salt, a little citrus, and then just a ton of duck soup flavor. And the congee just enhances all that with the soup that's inside. I thought out of all this, I would like the duck most because I love duck, but this is the real winner here. This thing is awesome. I'm about hitting the end of my breakfast tour, I think. If I eat any more, I won't be able to walk for the rest of the day, but there's one more place I gotta try. So the breakfast tour will continue one more time. My final breakfast dish. I've been walking past a lot of food vendors, food stalls, and I see them selling some sort of steamed rice that kind of looks like a Cantonese chomphin. And I come to find out this dish is a really popular item called Banggong. So I'm here at District 3 at Banggong to try it out. This looks really yummy. And like I said, it does remind me of chomphin. So the rice noodle is steamed in sheets and then it's put on the plate where fillings are added and kind of rolled together. And it looks like the filling is made with some sort of ground pork and onion mixture. Then they add a couple pieces of what looks like fish cakes on top. Sprouts and of course fresh herbs, and apparently you can have it with an egg or without an egg, so I'm gonna try both. I'm glad the menu comes with pictures. The international sign languages of food. This is with the egg, this is without the egg. As you can see, the egg here is, they infused it with the rice noodles itself. Well, this piece is more prominent. This is a pork cake and this is a pork sausage. Look at it, there's a little chili inside the pork sausage. This is fried shrimp cake. Get your bowl and then this is the biggest picture of fish sauce ever. Like, I'm glad I know this is fish sauce because I could totally see myself walking in here, pouring this in a glass and drinking it like iced tea. And I'm just gonna float some chilies in here. A little more chili, a little more for the road. Let me just open one of these things for you. That's all minced pork and onions. And I think I see some wood here. I just wanna try this on its own. This texture is extremely buoyant. Like the Cantonese rice noodle, when you chew it, it's more sticky, it's more gelatinous, more mochi-esque. This one is softer, it's not really sticky, with a much chewier texture. Oh, I love the onions and pork filling, by the way. Okay, I just want to try a piece. See what I'm talking about? It's very elasticy. But this bite, I'm gonna grab some fresh herbs, some sprouts. I'm also gonna dip my shrimp cake in here. Here we go. Everything is better with fresh herbs. Also, again, because this whole thing is really soft, really chewy, this adds some much needed crunch. This thing is extremely crunchy on the outside. Yeah, inside, delicious shrimp cake. I got 3 of these. I don't feel like they're all shrimp cakes. I feel like this is like some sort of vegetable. It's just kind of like potatoes, more specifically sweet potatoes. That's really interesting. And this is something I noticed about a lot of Vietnamese dishes, is that on every single plate or bowl, so much texture is represented. It's never gonna be too chewy, or it's never gonna be all crunchy. I love that they have such a balance of everything. I wanna dip this, fresh herbs, sprouts and all, and then eat it with this sausage fossil. Wow, that one little chili embedded inside, whew, got a lot of heat. Ooh. I gotta quench some of this heat with that. Check this out, lotus milk. I didn't know you could milk a lotus. It does taste like lotus. This is the eggy roll. The eggs just mixed in with the rice. Everything else stays the same. I can't really taste the egg that much. The texture feels a little different. Let me try this again. The eggy flavor is really not that significant. I mean, it's good, but getting either one of these, it is more eggy and the texture is less chewy, but it doesn't bring that much to the table. So I think I just prefer the regular one. Overall, really solid breakfast dish. I'm loving the sausage right now though. Man, this is genius. Okay, I know this is nothing new, embedding spices into meat, but still, like I've never seen like a whole chili inside a sausage. Plus peppercorns. I wish everything in my lab has chilies embedded. Thank you. Oh, this is gonna be awesome, by the way. Look at this. He's pouring, I think that's just basically alcohol. That's pretty. In case you're confused what is happening, all right, let me explain. The last breakfast place I was at, the one where I got the rice rolls, the Banggong, that was supposed to be the last breakfast video. But then you know how sometimes you're about to leave a country and you're feeling like there's something that was missing in your food. I felt similarly about this dish, the banh mi, the Vietnamese steak and eggs. If you remember, that was the first thing I ate for breakfast. But as delicious as that version was, and trust me, it was absolutely delicious, it wasn't a very traditional version of this dish. That's why I'm here at this place. And they supposedly serve a pretty traditional version of this dish. And I know this is supposed to be for breakfast, and as you can see, it's dark, but I had to get this dish. I had to do breakfast right. And luckily, this place serves this dish all day long. I'm so excited about this. This plate came sizzling hot, 2 eggs sunny side up, sausage, what looks like fish cakes, and this is where I am really excited. This little bowl here that's sizzling, burning, on fire right in front of me. The beef is being cooked, but I think it's more raw on the top, so I'm gonna just mix this around. This just looks like a little bowl of oil with some onions, cilantro. This beef is really different from the one I had earlier because it's really not thin. These are just chunks of beef. Again, they give you a baguette, get it all up in there. And check this out, there's like, I think a chunk of cheese in here. Sure. Oh, quite different than the first version I have. This version, as you can see, there's really not a lot of runny sauce. If you can recall, the last dish I had, there's just tomato sauce everywhere. But here, the sardines here, I think is the only portion of this dish that has a kind of a tomatoey sauce. Everything here is super thick and creamy. The yolk is creamy, the cheese is creamy, completely different texture than the earlier version. I want to try this, sardines and some egg. Oh, don't know how much I love the sardines. I much more prefer the beef and sausages here. Okay, I think my beef is ready. This is a real table service right here. Let's dip that in the egg. Oh. Let's make this beef a little toastier. I love barbecuing. I want to taste the beef on its own. The beef is really tender and sweet. Little egg, little cheese. The characteristic that really stands out about this dish compared to the earlier version, this is ridiculously creamy and a little oily. Egg yolks to the cheese, and even the beef just cooked in oil. This is for sure a heavier version of the two dishes. This pate is ridiculous, by the way. I'm glad I tried this more traditional version of this dish, but if I had to pick one that I liked better, I'd say I like the one from earlier. Because that one, I don't know, there was just so much beautiful sauce on that plate that I just want to soak up every single drop with the baguette. And here, don't get me wrong, this is very, very good. I just feel like it's more dense, it's a bit heavier. So really, it's based on your preference. And again, I'm sorry I had to squeeze the last breakfast video, like, you know, during dinner time. But hey, if McDonald's can serve breakfast all day long, I can eat it whenever I want, right? And out of all the breakfast foods I had, I think my favorite would have to be this dish except the previous version. That and the ridiculous pork chop I had at the broken rice place, I think I'm gonna be thinking about for a while. And I know people here, they do eat a lot of noodle soups like pho for breakfast, and that's one of my favorite things, but I kind of ate the heck out of that in another video, so I didn't want to include it here. But the breakfast dishes I did try were all really unique to me, and I really enjoyed my time with each and every one of them. So guys, I'm gonna finish this up. I'm not wasting this. Is delicious. I'm not wasting this at all. But it is dinner time, so after I eat this, I think it's time for dinner. So that's it for this breakfast tour here in Saigon. Thank you all so much for watching, and until we eat again, see you later.